I survived on this island for 300 days. I still have important things to build and animals to breed, so I decided to survive on this island for 400 days. Day 301, and I want to do something cool. Actually, I want to bring a chicken on this island, but before that, I started gathering resources for the chicken farm. Okay, the resources are ready and I can start building. And the farm is ready. All that's left is to add the chicken itself. And I can only get chicken on this island from the mob farm, because sometimes mini zombies can spawn on a chicken, and I have to wait until they do. But the percentage that such a mini zombie will spawn is very small, and I think it will take a very long time. Do we have a mini zombie with the chicken here? And once again, the creeper blew it up. You've got to be kidding me. I hope it doesn't blow up again. And there's a mini zombie, but it doesn't have a chicken. There's no zombie on a chicken at all. I'd better rebuild this farm a bit. And now we can go back to getting the chicken. And finally, this zombie is on the chicken, so I have to kill all the other mobs. And carefully kill this mini zombie. Then I'll put the chicken in the boat and give it a name tag. On day 310, I took the chicken to the chicken farm I had built. While I was trying to automate the mob farm again, a creeper exploded and I had a complete nightmare. Like, everything blew up. Another creeper, are you serious? Okay, so let's rebuild it somehow. And I managed to somehow automate and rebuild this farm. On day 311, I harvested bamboo again. The next day, I started to build a new island for the nether warts and potatoes. On day 313, I added soul sand and dirt. Then I tore down the previous nether warts farm and planted it on the new one. On day 314, I finished the nether warts farm. The next day, I harvested all the potatoes and dismantled the previous potato farm. The next day, I planted the potatoes. Then I added some decorations to this island. And from day 317 to 325, I built a house near the shore where the villagers will work and where it will decorate the appearance of this huge island of mine. The next day I ran out of wood, so I went to get some. By the way, what happened to our chicken? There are no eggs in the chest, and as far as I can see, this chicken is not going to do anything either. Well, I'll just have to find another chicken at the mob farm. Let's just keep farming mobs until I find another chicken. Last time it took me many days to find that chicken. I hope it will be a little faster this time. And finally, here's the mini zombie on the chicken, which I took to the chicken house last night and bred them. Hopefully, I will finally get some eggs from this farm. I want to build a dock near this house on the beach. But I ran out of sand, so I went to get some. On day 329, I built another part of the dock for the boats and increased the area of the shore for this island. On day 330, I laid rails to the fisherman's house. The next day, I took some of the villagers there, and they have already become fishermen. By the way, what about my chicken farm? Wow, we have 5 eggs here, and it's already a big farm. And I want to build a new bamboo farm that will be much more efficient than the previous one. So I need to gather all the resources for that. Well, that's how many resources I managed to get in 2 days. But I still need to get the slime and the gold. By the way, this chicken coop is growing quite nicely. And on day 334, I went in search of a swamp to get some slime. And yes, this time I had to leave the island for the slime balls. Okay, I'm in the swamp, and I have to wait for night. Hello, sheep. I wish I could take you with me to my island. You would have made such a cool animal. And there are 2 of you here. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, there's also a black sheep. And I live on an island where there's almost nothing. It's nighttime, and now the slime will start spawning in the swamp. But right now, all I see are zombies. Oh, the first slime, finally. I can get the slime balls now. And overnight, I managed to get 3 slime blocks. This is not enough. The next night, I continued to farm slimes. On the next day, I was AFK on the gold farm to get enough resources for the future bamboo farm. On day 338, I cleared the area under the bamboo farm of water. The next day, I continued to drain the water. Since I was always running out of air underwater, I've made myself a water-breathing potion. And for the next 2 days, I dried the area under the bamboo farm. Because there will be a minecart to collect bamboo, and there will also be a bamboo warehouse. On day 342, I built the platform for the minecart and put in the rails. By the way, how many eggs do we have in the henhouse chest? Wow, there are almost 3 stacks. I used all those eggs in the chicken coop, and now I have a lot of chickens. The next day, I placed all the rails and finished the whole mechanism with the minecart. On day 344, I added chests and hoppers to the warehouse. Then I started planting bamboo in the area of this bamboo farm. The next day, I finished planting the bamboo, and I started to make a mechanism to cut the bamboo. On the 346th day, I finished the mechanism and started it, but something went wrong and the mechanism stopped working. Then I redesigned it. Now let's start it and see how it works. And the mechanism worked and it went the other way. That's very good. Now I just need to add some walls to this auto farm. I didn't have enough glass, so let's go get some sand. I had to melt all this sand, and during this whole day I managed to melt 5.5 stacks of glass. The next day I went to the chicken farm and used up all the eggs. Then I continued to make a glass wall for this auto bamboo farm, and it's time to see how this loot system works. As I can see, the minecart is moving, which means it has to collect everything in a chest. And as I can see, there's already bamboo in the chest. So this bamboo farm is officially finished, but something seems to have gone wrong. This mechanism should definitely work differently, and I spent the whole day reworking this mechanism to make it work properly. Okay, and it finally worked. This is super cool because I now have an endless supply of bamboo. On day 352, I made a roof for this bamboo auto farm. The next day I expanded the warehouse because I didn't have all my bamboo. Well, my chicken house is huge. A chicken even jumped over there. At the iron farm, I already have a whole chest of iron. Let's use this iron to make a pyramid for the beacon. And the pyramid for the beacon is finished, but I still have 2.5 stacks of iron. I built a really impressive iron farm. And then I spent the rest of the evening making iron golems to protect me. For some reason, the golems on the iron farm stopped spawning. I think I broke this farm. Besides, I still need a beacon, so let's go to the fortress. By the way, there's a wandering trader here, and he doesn't sell anything interesting. And now I have to kill the wither skeletons. And here comes the first one with the head drops. Only 2 more to go. And now I can spawn Wither itself. Oh, that was pretty easy. And the next day I built another beacon. After that I went to the nether to get the red biome, the crimson forest, as this biome is called, because I want to make a separate island with this nether biome. On day 358, I started to build this biome, but I didn't have enough netherrack blocks. The next day I finished the island, and with the help of bone meal I turned a normal netherrack into a crimson one. I also grew crimson trees. And this is what my island looks like. I would say there's a whole network of islands here. On day 360, I got a block of blue nether biome the same way. After that, I started to build this island, but unfortunately, I didn't have enough blocks again. Back in the nether, I got these blocks again. After that, I finished this biome. It's called some kind of warped forest, but I don't really like that name, so for me, this biome is just a blue biome. Then I decorated the island with trees and grass. I really like this biome. And now it's time to collect bamboo from this auto farm. It's so cool how it breaks everything here. On the same day, I killed a lot of golems I created so that the iron farm would start working. The next day, I improved the looting system on the bamboo farm by adding hoppers. By the way, I forgot about the turtles, and I see they've all grown here. That's great. And now I have a lot of turtles. I don't know how long they grew here, but it was a long time. After that, I went to get some bamboo because I didn't have enough bamboo from the bamboo farm. And with the help of this bamboo, I expanded the grid of islands for the villagers. The next day, I ran out of bamboo, so I went to get some. Then I built 3 more islands for the villagers to make the whole village look symmetrical. On day 371, I put torches on the new island so the evil mobs wouldn't spawn there. After that, I went to get some deep slate because I'll use it to make columns for the new islands. I spent the next 2 days building these pillars for the new islands. On day 374, I went AFK on a bamboo farm, and in 10 minutes, this farm gave me 11.5 stacks of bamboo. Of course, I get a little more from a regular farm, but this can be done while fully AFK. I spent the next day repairing my tools. By the way, I can add another type of animal to this island, namely bees. But for that, I need to get a birch sapling. To get the bees, I have to grow the sapling near a flower. I didn't succeed this time, but with a small percentage of success, a beehive will spawn. Finally, I managed to get the birch tree to spawn with bees. I immediately bred the bees and began to grow more birch trees. The next day, another beehive spawned, and I immediately bred the bees to make more. Wow, there's so many of them here. Wow. By the way, I managed to make a 3rd beehive, and now I can truly say that I have restored the bee population. On day 378, I collected bamboo to build new houses for the villagers. On day 379, I built the first house for the villagers. Then I built another one, but I changed the style of this one a little bit. And the next day, I built some crap on the island. I don't know exactly what it is, but it will be some place where the villagers will do something, maybe something important. And this is what it looks like, and I've even added some lighting to it. On day 381, I built another house for the villagers, and this is is what the village looks like. I still haven't built anything on these 2 islands, but that's for later. I went to the end to get the end stone and the chorus flower. On day 383, I started to build a separate ender island, but I ran out of end stone. So I went to the end to get it again. And for the next 2 days, I finished this island. And this is what it looks like. And I decided to decorate my huge island with bamboo to make it look much better, and I think it will look cool. And the next day, I got some more bamboo and built 4 more houses for the villagers. On day 389, I put beds in the new houses. Then I harvested carrots and gave them to the villagers to reproduce and fill the new houses. I spent the next day making some golden carrots for myself. On day 391, I gathered more bamboo because I'm going to build more houses in my village. The next day, the wandering trader spawned and I stole the llamas from him. After that, I tried for a long time to tame the llamas, and finally I succeeded. By the way, I can also reproduce these llamas, and they have a little llama. It's wonderful. On day 393, I built a pen for the llamas, then I threw these llamas into the enclosure. From day 394 to day 397, I built 4 more houses for the villagers. On day 398, I lost a mini llama for some reason, so I bred the llamas again. I also gave the mini llama a name tag so it would not disappear again. On day 399, I decided to build another house for the villagers because they need a place to live, and this is what it looks like. The next day, I built a fishing auto farm, and I sat there all day trying to figure out what we could catch. And I caught some fish and some rotten meat, and that's all I caught. So I survived 400 days on this island. You can see how the island has changed during these 400 days, and you can also like the video. And I want to thank all the patrons you see on the screen. Bye bye.